Welcome back to 1978 and 1979 as we continue our look at the Star Wars toy line by Kenner. Last time, we checked out the iconic droid duo of R2-D2 and C-3PO. This time, we're stepping away from the main characters to check out some of the supporting characters in this galaxy far, far away. And today, we're checking out two toys, that's right, double toy review, as we take a look at the Jawa from 1978 and R5-D4 from 1979, here on Creed's Collection. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Creed's Collection. Today we're checking out the Jawa and R5-D4 from the 1978 and 1979 Star Wars toy line by Kenner. And we're not going to waste any time, so let's dive right in with the Jawa. Jawas are a sentient humanoid species that average about 1 meter in height, native to the outer rim desert planet of Tatooine. They wear heavy robes, and what's underneath is a mystery, although it is heavily implied that they are a rodent-like species. Jawas make their way through the desert in sand crawlers, basically giant mobile repair and storage bays. These are important as Jawas are passionate scavengers and are known to refurbish droids and equipment to trade or sell to the moisture farmers of Tatooine. Jawas, however, have a reputation for swindling, often selling hastily repaired goods. So the farmers are wary, but rarely have a choice in their isolated locations. And now that we know a bit more about the Jawas, let's take a closer look. So one of the standout features of the Jawa is his cloth robe, and that is the original from 1978. And while it is really nice, you have to wonder ultimately if it was really necessary, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But first, let's go ahead and take a closer look at it. It is nice. It does have the hood here, which I think looks very faithful to the movie, how it's nice and big. You can still pose them inside the robe, which is nice. See, you can put the arms up like so, no worries. However, the sleeves are a bit long, and you do kind of have to push them up to see his hands. The material is a bit thicker than you would expect, and the stitching is excellent around the hood. There's a seam right here in the front, as you can see, and so on the back it's nice and smooth. Now the big question is, what's under the robe? Well, it's a molded plastic figure. We know that much because I have another one right here. I don't have the robe for this one anymore, but as you can see, they have a fully molded robe right on them. So ultimately, I have to say, which one would you rather play with as a kid? I ultimately think this one would be easier and better to play with. I mean, he's got some pretty cool details, like this bandolier across his chest. That is awesome. This is the hand that's molded to hold his ion blaster, and I have to say that even in profile, he looks pretty nice. But ultimately, he is a bit plain without the robe, so I'm glad he comes with it. And we're just going to roll right into Jawa's articulation because it'll be easier without the robe. His legs can kick forward to a 90, but they can only go back a little bit. His arms can swivel all the way up, and they could go around full 360 if you wanted. His head does not have a swivel point, so that is it. That covers all the points of articulation for Jawa. Sadly, I do not own Jawa's ion blaster anymore. Either me or one of my brothers lost it a long time ago. So here's a picture of what it looks like. On the side of Jawa's leg, you can find his copyright information. That stands for General Mills Fun Group Incorporated, which was the parent company that owned Kenner, and of course 1977, the year Star Wars came out, and the year before the toy was released. Alright, now on to R5-D4, who is an astromech droid, much like R2-D2. However, R5s are a low-cost line of droids that are hampered with problems. R5 only makes a momentary appearance in the film Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope, where he is being purchased by Luke's Uncle Owen. He promptly breaks and is traded for R2-D2, which seems like a lucky coincidence. Much later, however, it is revealed that R2 explains to R5 that he must escape as he is on an important mission. To help R2, R5 breaks his own motivator, and that's the last we ever see of him. Until, spoiler alert, Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1, where poor R5 is still with the Jawas. So he's been in that sandcrawler for about a decade. I'll bet the Jawas sure never thought they'd own him that long. R5 uses a lot of the parts from R2-D2, except for 2 new ones. So basically he's reusing the body, the legs, and the sticker. They're just recolored. The 2 new pieces are of course his head and then the chrome piece that is underneath his head. The sticker on the front here is held up a lot better than my R2-D2, but it is identical other than being orange. But this is a really good reuse of parts, giving us a completely different figure, even though it's essentially the same figure. I really like his giant head and his 3 eyes right here on the front. I think that's pretty neat. And I'm also really pleased with how well this chrome piece held up. Surprisingly, more people have damage on that than the sticker, and it's always like yellow and dingy on a lot of R5s. And we're just going to roll right into R5's articulation. So his head, of course, can spin all the way around, full 360, and it's still really tight. His legs can move all the way up and around full 360 if you want them to as well. And that is it. That covers all 3 points of articulation for R5-D4. On the bottom of R5, you can find his copyright information. Once again, General Mills Fun Group Incorporated, 1978. And now for our He-Man size comparison. Wow, the Jawas are really small compared to He-Man, and so is R5. But you know what? I'll bet the Jawa could walk in and just start bumbling around like Orko, and He-Man probably wouldn't notice the difference. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my toy retrospective for the Jawa and R5-D4 from the 1978 and 1979 Star Wars toy line by Kenner. I enjoy doing a video on 2 Star Wars figures at the same time because they are a bit easier to do and the videos go a bit faster. And these 2, in my opinion, go together perfectly. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a thumbs up. And while you're at it, if you have any thoughts, please leave a comment because I really do enjoy reading those and I love responding to them. Also, if you're enjoying the videos, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate that and it'll help my channel grow. I do a retrospective on a toy from my vintage collection every Wednesday, so hope to see you next week and every week after, here on KREED'S Collection.